All right, welcome to your home workout. Now, this is the warm-up portion of the workout, and it's quite arguably the most important part because adequately warming up and warming up properly is going to allow you to get as connected to your body and your muscles as possible. This makes every single exercise that you do during the workout that much more effective. Going into a workout without warming up and your body is having to catch up, and a lot of the time that also puts you at risk of injury. So let's get connected first by doing a few different exercises. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to get connected to the glutes and the legs, since our legs are going to be our primary drivers for a lot of the things that we do, walking, running, things like that, and it's where we get our power from, since we have to drive from the floor first in order to move the upper body in a lot of functional cases. Then we got to get connected. So we're going to start with a few single leg deadlifts. Now for this movement, all we're going to do is going to take one leg back, keep one leg in front, place most of your weight in that front leg, and you're going to hinge down, trying to focus on a lot of the musculature, for the most part, in that front leg. You'll feel a little bit of quad, but mostly it's going to be in that posterior chain, which is the back side of the leg. So your glutes, your hamstrings, and even a little bit of your calves. So again, one foot behind the other slightly. And then you're going to bend at the hip primarily and at the knee. Try to keep this knee from going past the toe, so directly over the heel, and keep this leg, heel, up high. So on that back foot, you are high on that toe. Come down and come up. You can really feel that left leg or that front leg firing. Now you can make it a little bit more of a deadlift rather than a lunge by keeping the hips nice and high, hinging back, and this will primarily target the glutes. Again, a lot of your weight is in that front leg. However, you want to try to keep your center of mass directly in the point that is beneath you. So, although a lot of my weight is in this front leg, my center of mass is still going right between, right here. If there was a rod that came down through me that centered my weight would stay right over the middle. Now all the while you're doing this, you can activate your core at the same time by gently pulling in your belly button. Let's go ahead and switch legs here. Again, try a few where you allow the hips to drop, activating that posterior chain, firing the quad, feeling that entire front leg working. Keep that belly button drawn in. Keep your weight directly over your center, and then try a few where you're not bending that front leg as much. You're keeping that hip nice and high, and you'll get more of a glute activation there. Again, pull that belly button in. And we're just getting activated here so you can warm up properly, get ready for the rest of the workout. Another important thing to keep in mind here is that as you're doing this, try to keep your entire foot on the ground so that all of the muscles stay connected. Again, drawing that belly button in and keeping that weight over the center. Try a few with a high hip. Then you'll be activating that leg musculature, those glutes, nice and heavy. All right, shake that out. Now let's try one where we're doing both legs at the same time. So the process here is you keep your feet about hip width apart. You'll hinge your hips straight back as if you're trying to look between your legs at a point behind you. Now this puts you in a position where your back is nice and round here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and correct this and make this a little bit tighter in a second. But this puts you in a position where everything back here is nice and stretched out. Once that's stretched out, we're going to try to create a little more rigidity. So we'll straighten out the legs so that the knees are directly over the heels. And then we're going to go ahead and lift up gently to straighten out the back. Now we don't want to be rounded. And we don't want to be hyperextended, but we want to kind of keep this straight line between the ears, shoulders, and hips. And with the knees directly over the heels, nice feet planted on the ground, you'll start to feel this chain start to light up, especially in those glutes and those hamstrings. Now we really want to get the rest of it connected, so we got to pull that belly button in. Now one thing that I want to say about pulling that belly button in properly is we're not hardening the abs, we're not flexing them really hard. We're keeping a soft area here in the core, and then all we're doing is we're drawing the belly button deep into the spine. It's the inner muscles that we're flexing, not these outer ones. So again, you're not hardening the outer ones, you're letting the inner ones pull everything in together. Okay, so pulling that in and also expanding your rib cage. Again, looking in between those feet at a point behind you. Start straightening out. Keep those legs straight so the knees are over the heels. Feet flat on the ground. Straighten the rest of the body up so you have this nice straight line. You'll feel that chain start to light up. Keep drawing that belly button in nice and tight. And you might even start to shake. That tells you that you're doing this nice and proper. So firing this whole entire back side. Keep the shoulders in a nice position, away from the ears. Belly button drawn nice and tight. And then you're going to go ahead and stand straight up from there. That should activate everything in the posterior chain. The glutes start to fire and everything should get warmed up in that lower half. Now the next thing we want to light up and get ready is the core. So for this, what we're simply going to do is put our bodies in the proper posture and then work on drawing that core in and breathing in order to get everything going properly. So first things first, again, feet hip width apart. I want you to straighten out your legs so your knees are directly over your heels. Now a lot of the time we'll have this tilt of the hips as if they're a bowl that's pouring downwards. We don't want to pour that water out. We want to keep those hips nice and level. So a slight squeeze of those glutes, bring the belt buckle to the belly button, should keep that nice and straight. So you're squeezing your glutes here. Again, legs nice and straight. This is exactly the position that we ended with in the last exercise. Now we'll straighten out the upper body a little bit. A lot of the time the shoulders will be rounded. So we're going to go ahead and lift up the rib cage so that the rib cage is also, again, like a bowl. A lot of the time the compression brings the bowl tilting forward. We're going to lift that rib cage up so everything is facing forward. A lot of the time, again, the shoulders are rounded, so we're going to draw those back. Another thing is we're not going to over tighten that back. We're just going to get the shoulders to where they're right by our sides. Once they're there, deeply draw that belly button in once again. Okay, squeezing those glutes, everything in a nice posture. Shoulder blades are gently pulled back so that the shoulders are in a nice position. The thumbs are pointing straight ahead. The hands are pointing inwards towards the body. We also can be mindful of where the head position is. We want to make sure that that's above the shoulders. So that it's ears, shoulders, hips, heels. Nice straight line. And then from here, while we're drawing that belly button in a nice solid position with proper posture, we're now going to breathe without letting go of that belly button. So pull that in, and as you breathe, you'll feel everything else above, your rib cage, your chest, all that starts to expand. So draw the belly button in, and continue, start to breathe. Breathe deeply. Allow the breath to expand the rib cage in front, out the sides, and even in the back. Squeezing the glutes, belly button in, deep breath. You'll start to feel everything expanding here. And if you're doing this right, you're going to start to feel a nice strong fatigue that starts to generate in that midsection, in the glutes. You might even generate a little bit of a sweat. After you do that, you can do a couple rounds through until you feel adequately warmed up and you feel everything is ready to go. And you can jump right into the workout that follows. All right, have fun.
We'll be right back.